Hi everyone. This is our lecture on trinucleotide repeat expansion diseases. So let's get started. So let's say a 1-year-old boy is brought to the office by his parents. His paternal grandfather was recently diagnosed with Huntington disease at the age of 64. His parents want to know if their son could also have the disease. So, our learning objectives for this lecture are to recall the trinucleotide repeat expansion diseases and to differentiate diseases on the basis of their trinucleotide repeat expansion and mode of inheritance. Okay, so what is a trinucleotide repeat expansion disease? It's a type of DNA mutation where a group of 3 nucleotides is repeated. You can imagine what kind of chaos having 30 nucleotides would be instead of 3, or 300 nucleotides would be instead of 3. 4 of the trinucleotide repeat expansion diseases are Huntington disease, myotonic dystrophy, Fragile X syndrome, and Friedreich's ataxia. We can remember this with the mnemonic try hunting for my fragile, cage-free eggs, with tri standing for trinucleotide, hunting for Huntington disease, my for myotonic dystrophy, fragile eggs for Fragile X, and free in cage-free for Friedreich's ataxia. Now, Huntington disease and myotonic dystrophy are autosomal dominant in inheritance, while Fragile X is X-linked dominant, and Friedreich's ataxia is autosomal recessive. Each disease has a characteristic trinucleotide repeat. For Huntington's disease, it's CAG, which we can remember with the mnemonic caudate has decreased acetylcholine and GABA. This helps us remember CAG, but also that the caudate, part of the striatum of the basal ganglia, atrophies in Huntington disease, and there is decreased acetylcholine and GABA. In myotonic dystrophy, the trinucleotide repeat is CTG, and we can use CTG to remember C for cataracts, T for toupee or early balding in men, and G for gonadal atrophy in men or reduced fertility in women. For Fragile X syndrome, the trinucleotide repeat is CGG, and we can use CGG to remember C for protruding chin or large jaw, and GG for giant gonads or macroorchidism. Finally, for Friedreich's ataxia, the trinucleotide repeat is GAA, and we can remember it by simply thinking of ataxia in the name of the disease and how it affects our gait, GAA. The trinucleotide repeat expansion diseases may show genetic anticipation in successive generations. What does that mean? Well, what does it mean to highly anticipate something? It's like you get too excited and can't wait and get started earlier than normally, and you may do something more intensely. Similarly, in trinucleotide repeat expansion diseases with genetic anticipation, disease severity increases and age of onset decreases. So if someone got diagnosed with Huntington's at 64 because he had 30 repeats with minimal symptoms, his son may get Huntington's disease earlier, like at 54, because he had 40 repeats and may show more symptoms. Okay, let's do a quiz. What is the trinucleotide that is repeated in Huntington disease? Yep, great job if you said CAG. Remember, caudate is affected and there is decreased A for acetylcholine and G for GABA. So let's get back to the parents of this kid. If the kid's paternal grandfather was diagnosed with Huntington disease, does their son have a chance of having the disease? Well, what is the mode of inheritance of Huntington disease? Yep, you're right if you said it's autosomal dominant. So there is a chance that the grandfather passed the dominant gene to his son, And there is a chance that this 1-year-old got it from his father. Not only does the 1-year-old boy have the possibility of having Huntington disease, but so does his father. So what's the bottom line? Trinucleotide repeat expansions are DNA mutations that can manifest as disease. Clinically relevant trinucleotide repeat expansion diseases include Huntington disease, myotonic dystrophy, Fragile X syndrome, and Friedreich's ataxia. And trinucleotide repeat expansion diseases may show genetic anticipation in successive generations. That's all I have for you here. Please give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and it'll give you the opportunity to submit a comment if you have any feedback or questions. Thanks for joining me. Study hard.